You know that sound. The exciting and new podcast. I'm Jason.
I'm Andy.
And I'm Brian.
Let's do this.
Feels
like it's been a while. I miss you guys.
And yet, it hasn't been that long.
No, it hasn't. We played poker last week, so we didn't record, but here we are. This is our 11th episode. The three stories this week are Dear Beverly, The Strike, and Special Delivery. It originally aired on December 3rd, 1977.
Can I just say that I know you, when you introduce these things, you give the titles, and I never pay attention to the titles when I'm watching it, but today, when I was watching this, I paid attention because I know Jason's going to talk about the titles, and I have to know what the titles are. And I saw The Strike, and like halfway through this episode, like what? I kept going back to him, like,
who's
what's
going on
the
strike
about? What's that mean? Are they talking about a baseball strike, a walkout? What's going on? Obviously, it becomes a walkout, but I was very confused. I had the other two names down. I knew which ones they were.
You had to look back at the title, see what it was. Like,
kept going,
was
like,
it
strike? Wait, what's this? Am I watching the wrong one today? What's going
on? And here's our IMDb. This is the description of the plot here. Advice columnist Beverly Blanchard, I won't say who it's played by yet, neglects her husband, Russ, who thus spends time with a fellow passenger. Captain Stubby wages war with a visiting chef. Julie's friend Jeff Smith is separated from his wife, Gail, but doesn't know that she's on board and carrying his child. Do have a little something to talk about that a little later as well.
Man, do I have things to talk about? Just when you did those descriptions, all of a sudden, oh man, I'm not that bright. That's all I know.
Do you not read it? You don't read the IMDb?
Oh, I read nothing before I go.
How about
in.
even on Paramount Plus? It has that little thing underneath it.
Don't read it. But like I said, this time I read the titles. I saw the titles: Beverly's,
Dear Beverly,
Dear Beverly, The Strike, and
Special Delivery. So I had those names rattling around in my tiny little brain. Dear Beverly, I got right off the bat. Special Delivery,
I got right off the bat. And The Strike, the whole time, I'm like, what are they talking about? The Strike? What's that mean? So
I have to agree with you that doesn't come in until like almost 35, 40 minutes into the episode, it feels like, right? I mean,
I don't remember what Special Delivery was.
Really?
No.
I'll tell you this, Gail and Robert Urich.
Adam Bricker's done this twice before. Or no, once before.
This is the second time.
Yeah. Okay, now I remember.
You get
it? Okay, I got it.
Spoiler. Should we give away the entire ending right now?
No.
I'm assuming anybody that's listening to this has also watched the episode or doesn't care.
I would hope that our three fans out there are watching the episodes with us. And
oh my God, she was pregnant the whole time? Thanks for ruining it for me.
The TV trope of like, yeah, it's me and... You know, I got
down here. Oh, yeah. I didn't realize what was going on over there.
As you walked in with your shirt sticking way out. We knew it was up. Come on now. Let's discuss these guest stars this week.
I have a lot to say about these guest stars.
Our first one, she plays...
One, for sure.
She plays Gail Smith, Pamela Franklin. This was her only episode of The Love Boat. She didn't act much after this, but she was a child actor in the 60s. So I
of all the people that were the main guest stars on the show, she was the one that I know. I kept saying... She looks like someone I should know, and then I looked at her.
Yeah.
And,
did you have any idea who she may have been? Or
no?
She wasn't even like a Twilight Zone or something like that.
I scrolled through looking to see if I caught anything, like caught my eye, like
nothing.
what she was in, but nothing. Yeah.
And I believe she's still alive.
She is still alive. I think she was born 1950, 51, around there.
Oh my God! How can she still possibly be alive?
That would make her about 71.
Oh.
Yeah. So
why would you want to be alive that long?
I don't know. Some people, I guess they treat themselves better than we treat ourselves.
This is a whiskey that I'm drinking right here.
Our next guest, she's in 3 episodes of The Love Boat. This is her first one. Ava Gabor playing Beverly Blanchard. She's known for 170 episodes of Green Acres. That was like her main thing. She had some voice acting she did for some cartoons like The Rescuers and stuff like that. I saw in there.
As I started watching this episode, I had to stop it at one point and say to myself, which one is this one? Is this Jaja or is this Ava? Because they look a lot alike.
I wanted to look up if Jaja was on any episodes.
Oh, wow.
I forgot to look that up.
And, you know, as a child of the 70s, the Gabor sisters were like a thing.
They would show up on random TV shows.
Because they were already old by then. I mean, she's not young.
And then there was the one lived to be like in her 90s, I think, and she was married to a prince or something.
Was that Zsa Zsa that they kept cutting pieces off of? Like every once in a while, he's like they cut off Zsa Zsa's leg.
It was like, but she's still. They should, and they would show a picture of her alive. It was like it was really weird for a while there.
Do you want to be alive? Ugh. But yeah, when this episode started and I saw her, I was like, "Oh, Zsa Zsa. Okay, I know who she is. She was on Gilligan's Island once." And then I looked it up. I'm like, "Oh, it's Eva." I thought it was Ava.
That's why I said it's Eva.
It was spelled EVA, and
I always say Ava.
Yeah, I thought it was Ava, but it's Eva. And
but I knew a girl. Her name was Eva.
Eva.
EVA. She worked at a place we worked at separately.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But I thought this was the Zsa Zsa version of it. It was Eva, and then
I'm going to say Ava a lot through this episode, so I
might
apologize.
It might be. But then as soon as I saw Green Acres in her.
I had to make sure it was the right Gabor sister
in her list of credits. I was like, oh, okay, this one. I know her from Green Acres. I saw Green Acres.
I never really watched. I know of Green Acres. I can't say I ever
couldn't
watched
tell
the
you.
whole
I don't even know her character name in Green Acres, but I knew she was in that one.
Yeah,
I could probably sing the song.
She's a second Green Acres person too. There was that angry maid from that episode.
Okay,
with Charo.
Yes.
She was a town.
I think
person.
we have to say that every time.
She was the what in that?
She's a town person. And
a town person.
Every time from now on, every time you say Charo, you got to say Kuchi.
Oh,
at least
that's your
you
job.
don't have to say it.
That's your job. Yeah.
Somebody has to say it. If like I say Charo, you have to say it.
You have to say it. When you say Charo, you say Kuchi afterwards.
When I say Charo, you say Kuchi. She's not even in this episode,
but she will be in 9 more. So we have that to look forward to.
Next guest star was Al Molinaro as Chef Antonio Borga. You know him from Happy Days. He was in 146 episodes. He was in The Odd Couple. He only had 76 credits, which I thought it seemed like very little for him. The Odd Couple, I'm sorry, he had 73 episodes. He was also in 17 episodes of Joni Loves Chachi.
Well, didn't he become...
You know what his last credit was on IMDb? It was in 1994.
I mean, give me a hint.
It's a music video from 1994.
Oh, yeah, I know. Weezer, Buddy Holly.
Yeah, I was just gonna say.
It was the Happy Days. The Happy Days video.
Pretty good, right?
That was really good.
But I mean, I guess only having 76 credits, but he was in
a lot of.
He was
things,
not a main character on either Odd Couple or Happy Days, but he was a feature guy on both of them. He was
73 episodes. He was the
cop. He was the cop on Odd Couple, so he wasn't Tony Randall or Jack Klugman, but whenever they did a poker night or whatever they did on Odd Couple, he was the guy.
Yeah,
and of course he was.
And this was in the middle of him on Happy Days as well. So,
but did they overlap Odd Couple and Happy Days?
Yeah, because Happy Days was 74 to 84.
Love Boat. Okay,
yeah, this was 77.
I was thinking you meant. Odd Couple and
Happy
Days
Odd
overlap.
Couple. No.
Yeah.
Happy Days and this with the Love Boat. Yeah.
And it's funny because his he plays a chef on this episode,
and he's a cook.
And he was a cook on Happy Days, and his cooking comes into question on both shows. I remember his.
I just recently, I think I may have talked about this on a previous podcast, but I just recently saw the episode where Arnold's burns down. I think it's like season 7.
Okay.
Of Happy Days.
And I haven't seen Happy Days in 40 years. And I do remember his cooking was a bone of contention with the Happy Days gang that this tastes burger tastes like a hockey puck or
any show
like
that has a place where they go to eat, they have to do something like that. I think there's always something.
Why would you go to a place where the cooking sucks? Would you want to go?
Do you think that was the only place in town? I mean,
they were in Milwaukee. That's a big time city, right?
True. I mean, especially you have hardware stores down the street.
This was the 50s. That you don't have the options now where you can go to a chain restaurant. I'm sure Al's was probably the best place in the downtown Milwaukee area where you could get a burger delivered to your car by roller skates or
go inside.
It was all kids too, so maybe because he accepted kids or something.
And who cares about what kids think? You think my burgers suck? Eat it and get the fuck out.
It was a rare occasion if you saw
an adult,
Mr. or Mrs. C down there.
Never. They were just there to get
the only
Richie.
Adult that was ever there was Fonzie.
Because he was already like 40.
He was 27, I think, when they were all ninth grade.
He was an adult for sure when they were. Nice.
All right, Al Molinaro, ladies and gentlemen. Great performance, by the way.
I was
thought.
very happy to see him.
Yeah.
I forgot from last week when you introduced the cast that we were going to see when he showed up. I'm like, nice.
Yeah.
But what was his last name? Borgata?
Borga.
Borga.
Yeah,
not
Chef
Borgata, but
It was
Borga.
like Chef Antonio Borga.
He comes on and says, Borga. Borga.
Yeah.
Like he's
And
so
he yells
important.
in Italian a lot in this.
And the subtitles on the
It just said
Paramount
yelling in
just-
Italian.
yelling in Italian. Not the French.
I thought that was
because
funny,
I think
too.
a lot of it was like, oh, yelling in Italian, I guess, or just making up some
And then he
nonsense.
hit on. He was like the fettuccine, the ravioli. He
yes.
did all the
words
pastas.
that I know in Italian. Yeah. Fafango. He did get the.
He did that. Yeah, he did do that at one point. I noticed. All right, we're moving on to our next guest, who is also in 3 episodes, 3 different characters. Leslie Nielsen. He plays Ross Blanchard.
I don't know her.
He plays
good?
Ross Blanchard, dear Beverly's husband in this one, Ava's husband in this one. I know him from movies like Airplane and Naked Gun, but my favorite performance by Leslie Nielsen, you want to guess it?
Man, if you're gonna discount Airplane and Naked Gun, I don't know.
My favorite role by Leslie Nielsen, Richard Vickers in the Something to Tide You Over on the Creep Show.
See,
movie.
I was gonna say, like, did he rape Dudley at some point?
No,
But
no,
you're
no.
good. You're
Creep
good
Show,
with Creep
yeah.
Show. I get it. I can hold my breath a long time.
Harry, I can hold my breath. Yeah, him and Ted
That is
Danson.
a
Did you ever see
great
Creep
episode
Show?
of Creep Show.
No, I haven't seen that yet. You guys told me
You
to
haven't seen
watch
that
it,
yet.
though.
That's only like 37, 38
You
years
told
old.
I want
a
to
couple
say
weeks
that
ago
might
to
be
watch
80
it.
or 81. Yeah,
it's,
so yeah,
it's probably
that's-
40-something years old. I can hold my breath a long time.
He has 255 credits, IMDb. This is 3 years before Airplane. He was still a
completely
serious actor at the time.
changed his life because he, before Airplane, was a serious actor, and he was in some of those shitty 50s sci-fi movies.
Forbidden Planet,
My
stuff like that.
father-in-law had a Forbidden Planet poster hanging in his living room, and there's Leslie Nielsen, and
Yep.
you know, he was what he was. And then when they cast Airplane, they cast a bunch of serious actors. I did the air quotes. Can't you see that around the microphone?
I saw the air quotes. I don't know if the audience saw.
They cast a bunch of serious actors, including Leslie Nielsen, and Leslie Nielsen was never a serious actor ever again.
Yeah,
Which,
and that was just.
I mean, he became endeared to a whole new generation, but not for any of the things he did before that.
I think him being such a straight-laced guy all that time, and it was just like an Airplane. It was always like, "We're all counting on you. Good luck." It was like,
Well, Frank
he wasn't
Drebin,
trying to be funny. It was
Frank
just like,
Drebin was the same thing,
Yeah.
where all this nonsense is happening around him, and he's just straight, but
yeah, like he walks away and there's like an accident behind him. It's like,
there's
just
nothing to
ridiculous.
see here. But when I think of Leslie Nielsen, all I think of is Airplane and past that. But the generation before us, it's all that Forbidden
And the
Planet,
generation after us is all that. The
Dracula Dead and Loving
that's
It.
what I was thinking of.
and,
Yeah, and
Spy Hard.
Yeah, just
Which I saw.
I don't know
all
if
of
I
them.
saw
I
any of
saw all of
those.
them, and they're all awful. But every once in a while, something's funny, and you're like,
it's still that same gag almost, but just a different
It is
premise.
the
It's all,
same gag over and over again.
and good for him though. For
He made a whole second career for himself. If our friend Dan was here tonight, he would tell us that he was at a showing of. Shit, man. I probably shouldn't tell this story.
do it.
This I don't know it. It's a Dan story, but he was at a showing of Airplane or Naked Gun,
Oh, an actual.
and Leslie Nielsen was there.
Oh, like a. Did he do like a
Q&A kind of
afterwards?
thing, and someone asked him about OJ during it, and this is obviously after OJ had murdered his wife and
Allegedly.
other guy. I don't.
You have to say that, don't we?
Do I say
Do we have to
allegedly?
say that, Brian?
I say OJ did it.
I
I
say
mean,
he
I'm
did
pretty
it as
sure
well.
he did it.
But I think you just have to say allegedly. I
Okay,
believe he did it, too.
allegedly OJ murdered his wife and
Oh, he
her
did it.
boyfriend. And the guy, the MC of the night, was like, "You don't have to answer that question." And Leslie Nielsen was like, "I'll talk about OJ. It's cool." And he gave his thoughts of OJ, not including the murder, We should have Dan on this podcast.
I've been trying to get people on our podcast, and they say yes, and then they're like, "Oh, doy."
When we get Dan on this podcast, and we will get Dan on this podcast, we will ask him to talk about the Leslie Nielsen story.
Yeah, we could have
regarding
a side, yeah.
OJ something.
OJ
that guy. Simpson.
What was it? OJ Duffy.
There was OJ Anderson on the Giants when they won the Super Bowl in 1990.
That's a good one. And there's Orange Juice Jones.
Let's continue on with the credits.
The last name that popped up for the opening credits is also another 3 episodes, 3 characters. He plays Jeff Smith. It's Robert Urich, known best for 65 episodes of Spencer for Hire. Never watched it. Las Vegas with a dollar sign.
I was going to say a vague dollar sign.
69 episodes of that. He was also known as Captain Jim Kennedy the Third. 25 episodes of Love Boat: The New Wave.
That was the only thing I was going to bring up about him. I never watched Spencer for Hire or Las Vegas dollar sign.
Also, I did not know he died at 55.
I read about him very young in cancer.
Yeah, I had no idea. I thought he was still, honestly, I thought he was still alive.
Some crazy form of aggressive. You got it, and now you're dead.
Yeah,
not
like what happened with
not
Screech.
Dragging on for years. Just
they told Screech he had
dead.
stage 4 cancer in January. I think he was dead by March, something like that.
God, that's the way I want to get. I want to be diagnosed and dead within the month. That's what I want.
You heard it here.
I don't want to die.
Well, listen, I'm not begging for death, but I don't want to be just laying around in bed dying for years.
Would you want tubes? Would you want to be living on tubes?
I would like as many tubes as they have.
That's all I have for our guests. I was going to ask if there were any Titanic jokes.
I didn't hear any Titanic jokes. I would just like to say this is probably the cast that I knew the most about so far on our, what's this, the 10th episode we've done, plus the pilot, and the 11th episodes that we've done. I knew so much more about these people than anyone, except for
Pamela
Franklin,
Smith, yeah,
who I didn't really know anything about, but.
I
everybody
agree with
else
you there. You had a little bit like, I know his face, I know the voice and everything like that.
Yeah, everybody was. Now we're getting to the era where we're probably going to know more and more people that are on the cast, because now we're halfway through the first season of Love Boat, and people are probably like, I got to get on that show.
Yeah, it's starting to take off. It's a big Saturday night thing. And
who's Leslie Nielsen at this point? He's a nobody.
I guess he's still just
washed up guy, and he wants to get on this show. This is probably a big boost for him.
Yeah, and he's done 3 episodes, so we'll see him in 2 other characters.
He's not going to play the same guy?
The same guy, yeah.
Were there any other people in this episode? There are going to be other people later on?
Yeah, Ava Gabor is in 3 different,
but all
3 different characters, and Robert Urich is 3 different characters.
So he doesn't even come back as
Yeah, and this was Pamela Franklin's only episode. And I think she only did like 1 or 2 things after this.
But she's still alive.
She's still alive.
Still do another one.
Stopped.
Everybody else is dead. She could still do another one.
She should do our podcast. Pamela Franklin, if you're out there, we'd love to hear from you. I'll look her up on Twitter.
Pamela Anderson, if you're out there.
Pamela Anderson, you're more than welcome to join the podcast. I don't believe she was on any episodes, but she's more to come in and sit down with us in the basement here. I'm sure she'd have a great time.
I'm sure she will.
She probably wouldn't.
This date rape dungeon of ours.
There was an elevator scene. I get an elevator scene in this episode. I'll mention that to you.
I don't remember seeing the elevator.
Yeah, you'll see the elevator.
I watched this episode with both eyes on the screen the entire time.
I don't remember the elevator scene.
I got it written down here, so I don't really remember it right now because I watched it last night.
Now that we've done this 10, 11 times, I look for things.
Elevator.
Oh, I feel burned on that. I look for elevators, Titanic jokes.
Yes, I remember it now.
Where we're going to be? Are we in Puerto Vallarta or Cabo?
We get that early on.
And I didn't hear that either.
We get that very early on in the opening scene.
I got to pay attention more.
I got distracted a lot during this episode.
Remasturbating.
Was it the women on this episode?
I played the fifth. It was
Wait
Eva.
a minute. Was it Leslie Nielsen?
Bobby Urich.
Bob. In the credits, Bob Urich. He was mostly Robert in his later career.
Brian, can you fix the screen there? It came up as...
Is that the green screen?
There we go. So
it's still green behind you, Jason.
We're going to start the...
it's all green.
We're going to start
we should
the
have a camera
right
on you this whole time with this green screen.
We could have like the boat behind me.
Just monsters.
I wanted to mention real quick, eggs are being loaded onto the boat. Last week's episode, it was beer.
I'm very happy to show the work behind the scenes on these cruises. It's not all glitz and glamour. It's a lot of loading the boat.
Although, do you think that kitchen could cook food for 600 people.
I don't think 5 people could cook dinner for 600 people. I had
No,
a gigantic
and
problem with that.
Who is doing the drinks if Isaac was back there?
Ow,
helping
we're
him?
so getting ahead of ourselves because I had the same thoughts. I'm like, who's serving the drinks? And anybody have a question about the cruise? Oh, our cruise director is down in the kitchen right now making dinner.
Has anybody seen the doc?
You know, these biscuits taste like shit. Did
There's
your
some-
captain make these?
Is someone choking? Has anybody seen the doc?
I'd like to just point out early on, because since we've already broken the whole, we've spoiled everything. Two of these storylines were actually two of these storylines were actually kind of serious.
Yeah, okay, which
And-
two? Strike, probably not the strike because you didn't know what that was till the end of the episode.
And as I'm watching it, I was like, where are the laughs going to come from? And obviously it came from the strike episode, the portion of this show, because
Can I just say
all
one,
that,
can I say
with
one
the
thing
whole
about
crew
since you
down in
mentioned
the kitchen.
since you mentioned the crew in the kitchen? Can I just say one other thing?
I guess now we can.
Why the hell were they wearing those hats? It's just ridiculous. Right? Like, what are they doing?
The whole
Like,
scene is so
come on.
stupid with
That's
with
what it's like.
Doc's
Like we
burnt
like we
pork.
wouldn't know they were cooking. Like they had to put flour on his face, and he has to have a big chef hat on. Okay.
so overwhelming.
All right, we got our opening scene here. Like the eggs were being loaded on, and then we got Julie, Isaac,
Just
and
opening
Gopher
scene.
talking about the new chef.
Yeah,
The regular chef had appendicitis,
which
that's why
is
he
really
wasn't
funny
gonna
when
be
they
there.
started talking about the chef was gone. I thought they were actually referencing the fact that last week, Captain Stubing's dad took their
Phil
old
Silvers.
chef away.
That's right.
Wasn't she a chef?
Well, she retired.
But wasn't she a chef?
I don't know if she was. Was
He
she?
met her in the kitchen in the galley.
She might have just been like the sous chef.
Yeah, like a worker, like who should have been cooking the food
Remember-
after Borga left.
I really was like, are they going to reference the fact
Remember
that
she-
the dad took the
But the
chef
thing
away?
that,
and
but the
then
thing that was
not
messed
what
up, they
went
didn't
through?
reference that because they referenced that first. Gopher made the joke. He's like, "Was it something he ate? Why the original chef wasn't there?" And Julie says it was appendicitis. So I guess the regular chef's coming back next week. But we never saw who the real chef was. I think she was just a helper.
I
Because
just thought it was funny.
Also,
that
she
the-
wasn't allowed to sit at the table.
You're
Stubing
right.
was like,
But I just thought
"What
it
do you
was
think you're
the
doing?"
episode after the person in the kitchen that we saw got taken away. They start talking about how the chef is no longer there. I was like, oh, is he going to be Captain Stubing's mother-in-law now, or not mother-in-law?
That would
stepmother,
be his
stepmother.
stepmother. Yeah.
But it turned out that they didn't even go that way. If I was the writer, if I was the continuity editor of the show, I would have made it that way.
This is the 70s. There's no continuity.
You're right. They're like, you saw that episode last week? Thank God. This will have nothing to do with last week. And there's no DVRs, there's no VCRs, there's no taping of the episodes. No one's going back and saying like, you know, in episode 3 and 7 people up on deck, and then you came back from commercial and you had 4. What, are we just supposed to think those 3 people disappeared? That was my best Simpsons
I liked
nerd.
It worked for me. We get Chef Borga boarding the boat here. He's very
Borga.
eccentric. Very
Borga.
eccentric. He tells Julie she's too skinny. That's why she's not married. And then they mention that they're going to Brian. They're going to
Is this Mazel Tov?
yeah
Mazatlan.
Mazatlan.
Did they say it?
Puerto Vallarta
Totally
and
missed all that.
Acapulco all
Oh.
mentioned here.
No way.
And then it's all before Borga mentions that the captain's a jackass as Stubing arrives. So there's already a beef between Borga and the captain.
And Al's got the jacket over the shoulders with the
You know what the
hat
beef's
and-
for, right? Why they have a they have a beef?
Because he put ketchup on his bolognese.
Bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse.
Do you know what bouillabaisse is?
Something with meat sauce or something
Right.
like that.
No, I was trying to remember
I got
what
it.
it was.
I'm married
I
to an
think I
Italian
got it.
woman. I
It's
don't
a
remember.
fish stew. I looked
Fish
it up.
stew?
Yeah. Bouillabaisse is a fish stew. I thought
So I
was
said meat something. Fish. Do I not get personal
yeah. He
credit?
put he put ketchup on his bouillabaisse.
Listen.
and
I am anti-ketchup as well. I agree with Al. Ketchup on eggs, gross.
ketchup on eggs, gross. Ketchup on a steak, beautiful. Ketchup on a
Fuck
burger,
no,
but on the
no.
side, not on the steak.
Burger,
On the
burger,
side,
yes,
on
not
the
on a
side of the
steak.
burger and on the side of a steak, and he dip it in there.
I will allow it on a burger, and I will allow it on French fries, and that is about all I would allow.
But I don't put it on it. I put it on the side for burger and fries, and I dip my burger in it, and I dip my fries in it. I also eat
Yeah,
a plain
that's a little
burger. I
weird,
don't
too.
have like all that shit on the burger. It's just a burger and a bun. That's
No
all.
lettuce, no cheese.
Nah, cheese.
But steak.
Steak, I like it. Yeah, I like but I like not. I like just dip like a little dip, Like to just give it a little moisture.
I like steak sauce on a steak, but not ketchup.
Like I just like dip my toe in the pool. Like
I feel ketchup is a crutch for people that don't have good taste in food.
I
They
have.
just wanna
Yeah,
dip
I hate.
their
There's
shit
all
in
kinds of
ketchup.
foods I hate. Yeah.
Oh no, I know you hate all kinds of food. I'm just saying I think ketchup is a crutch for people that just like I'll just drown it in ketchup and get that taste.
That's
out of
one
my
thing I don't do. I don't drown it in ketchup. That I won't do. I mean, I don't overdo it. I like ketchup, but I don't overdo it. Like
Yeah,
where
I
that's
think
the only
ketchup
thing I
on
taste,
fries
you
and other things of a fried nature, like onion rings. I'm good with burgers. Yes, that's about it. That's all I
Yeah,
want my
I'd never
ketchup
liked it on eggs. Like when you said eggs, I think that
My
yeah.
wife, my kids, they drown it in that shit, and it makes my stomach hurt.
I like using ketchup in like different sauces, like special sauce and stuff.
What the fuck's that mean?
I know.
Mayonnaise, chipotle, like and ketchup all mixed together.
No, that's that with mayo chup or something like they have. Did you ever see that mayo chup? It's like mayo and ketchup mixed. But isn't that the McDonald's special sauce?
So I
That's
thought
a
that was
special
just
sauce from
mayonnaise
Step
left
Brothers.
out in the
Ketchup,
sun.
right?
I thought that was what the special sauce
Speaking
was.
of McDonald's,
it's
if they
gone
wanna-
bad. Here
they-
you go.
If McDonald's wants to be a sponsor, I did watch a commercial from 1989 with Al Lewis.
Gilligan.
Bob Denver was in there. Eddie Haskell, Mrs. Cleaver. And Agent 99 was in there.
And 99 was Don Adams.
Don Adams. I think that was it, right? And Al Lewis. I mentioned Al Lewis.
God, there was someone else.
There was one more, I think, right? Good commercial.
This
I saw
is so
today.
stupid.
Where'd you
We're-
see this commercial?
We're talking about a commercial that we saw on YouTube today.
I
but
was
it has nothing
I was
to do with
scrolling
this
through
episode.
I was scrolling through Twitter and that somebody posted a commercial from 1989, or maybe it was on Facebook in the one of the Facebook pages that I follow or whatever. But I just saw this picture of Al Lewis and it said 89 cents, and I was like, "There's no way he was 89 in this picture."
See,
you know what I mean?
I was like, oh yeah, he probably was 89.
But the video was from 1989, and they were doing a thing. I think the double cheeseburger or something was 89 cents.
Who cares what they were doing? It was just
It
a
was
bunch of
funny
old
though. It was
people.
really good. But
Gilligan, Grandpa Al.
one of the comments was
Eddie
like, "How many of
Cleaver.
these people were still alive 10 years later?"
10 years. I was gonna say none of them are alive now. Is
We
Eddie Cleaver still alive?
No, Eddie Haskell just
Eddie Haskell?
died. Yeah, Don Adams is dead. Al Lewis is still here, right?
He would be like 150 by now.
Somebody said like they must have been really hard up to people in this commercial because you notice how the Beaver and Wally weren't in it, but Mrs. Cleaver and Eddie Haskell.
Gilligan had $1 in his hand, and he said, "Do I get change for this?"
You know,
That would be 11 cents.
but you know, Gilligan was high as shit.
Does that
He was
11
high
cents
as
really
shit.
good? Listen, I'm not mocking anybody's financial worth, but 11 cents, does that matter to anybody?
I really don't think they had good residuals on Gilligan's Island and
Probably
stuff like
didn't.
that. I think a lot of those
Who's
shows
left? Is
back
it, ju-
then.
is it just Ginger?
Yeah,
Dawn Wells
'cause
died last year,
Marianne
right?
just passed, yeah.
God damn, man. Someday they'll be talking about this podcast. They'll be like, the two of them are dead. He's the only one left.
Brian?
Well, his
Brian
head
did it.
his head will be floating in a jar next to Ted Williams.
Yeah, I'm never dying.
But
You don't want your body? You
But
just
just
want
think
the
about
head
that.
to go on? Or
Yeah, they can chop off my head and just keep the head.
So, but like, what if you come back and they're like, we can't put you on a body. You're just going to be a head now. Would you be okay with that?
Well, a robot of some sort, stick me on a Roomba or something that I can control.
So it would be mind control.
So you'll be
then.
dead.
It would have to be mind control.
Unless, Elon Musk has that thing that he attaches to people's foreheads.
But
and they
don't you
can
think that's
control
fun to
stuff.
think about? Like, out of the three of us, one of us will be the last one alive. We'll be doing the...
Yeah, that's a lot of fun.
This is
yeah,
the
my-
Lobo
my
podcast.
My favorite thing to think about.
This is the Lobo podcast. My two co-hosts are now dead.
This
I'm
is
doing
the-
this at their funeral.
Like, this is exciting, a new podcast. Echo. It's just me tonight.
Brian, why don't you play that thing you play at this point?
I don't know if I'm recording.
I guess I'm assuming that Brian will be one of the first ones dead out of the three of us.
He's the one that says he wants to live forever.
I know, but I'm probably not.
He wants to live forever in this shitty ass life.
To live forever.
I've been at Brian's house. He doesn't want to live forever.
You don't think so?
He's got like 17 women living there, man.
Yeah, not there.
He's obviously moving.
His mom, his wife, his daughters. Oh my God. Oh my God.
I'll end up in Thailand somewhere.
He likes the little boys.
I'll bring us back here. The chef and
I
the
thought we were
captain.
done. Holy
the
shit.
chef and the
Are we
captain
still-
are arguing.
Have we started talking about this episode yet?
The chef tells the captain he has the taste buds of a goat because he put the ketchup on his bouillabaisse.
I
And,
agree. Fuck that. Have we gotten that point?
We
Fuck
did.
that.
We did just talk about that. I was pro ketchup. Stubing
anti-ketchup.
requests someone go pick him up some TV dinners. You want a TV dinner?
'Cause that tastes so much better.
And this was our first yell in
listen-
Italian. We got our first yell in Italian there.
TV dinners in the 70s were awful.
I was just gonna say they were awesome.
Not in the 70s.
Yeah, you look at them. You had bigger portions. The potatoes were always so good.
My mom
And the corn.
cooked. I guess my mom didn't want me to eat that because every once in a while it was TV dinner, and I'm just like, oh god.
I used to
No
like it. The
good.
chicken was good, yeah, and then there was a boneless chicken.
Salisbury steak.
The Salisbury steak was top notch.
I feel like Gordon Ramsay would just be like, it's fucking Salisbury.
Oh yeah,
steak."
Gordon Ramsay's not gonna like it, but are you really gonna like what he has to serve sometimes?
No.
You know what I mean?
Salisbury steak's no good.
What's that thing he likes to serve?
Risotto. It's fucking risotto.
It's fucking cold. It's burnt. I haven't watched him in a while, but he's still on TV. He does several shows now.
We
I
know
think.
our old next
You
door
know Gordon
neighbors.
Ramsay?
No, I don't know. But our old next door neighbors had
Is Gordon Ramsay?
has had a restaurant in Cranberry, New Jersey, and he did one of those. He does some new show where he goes to places and
Oh, Gordon Ramsay. He does
shits on
Kitchen
their
Nightmares.
Food. Yeah. So they went to their place and we watched the episode where he just came in.
Had you been to the restaurant?
No,
Okay,
no.
that would have been cool if you had
But-
known the restaurant or whatever. You know,
It was just
he
fun.
shit on
watch-
it though.
It was just fun watching our neighbors sit there and quiver as Gordon Ramsay just was like, "This is fucking awful."
So, like, was it just the food, or was it like the conditions?
It was
of the
everything.
kitchen?
And our old neighbor was partners with a guy that we didn't know, and the other guy was very motivated, and our old fuck that, our old neighbor was just a lazy fuck, and Gordon Ramsay just kept yelling at him, "Get the fuck up!" It was fun. It was fun watching that happen.
That's
I was
great.
Like, I didn't like that guy.
It's like
anyway.
whenever those shows, like the Diners, Drive-Ins one, that one came to a couple places
Yep.
in New Jersey.
I
Like,
remember that.
I think they went to Papa's maybe.
And they definitely
and,
went to Heightstown.
And they went to that Jersey Girl Cafe on 33, I think. Route 33 there.
They probably closed that down because that's not there anymore.
Is it not there anymore? Yeah, it was a little shopping center across from Dunkin' Donuts.
Yep.
Yeah. If this is for people who know where we're located, I guess.
Look, oh my God, 33 in New Jersey. I know that place.
Well, our few listeners are probably
They all know that place. They all know that place.
Okay, let's see.
So we're a minute into the Love Boat episode. Is that what we're
That's
doing?
how far we're in right there.
And we're 36 minutes into the podcast.
But
Jace took an hour to talk about Leslie Nielsen.
early, I guess comments about the podcast are they like when we talk about the guests.
They don't want to. They don't want us talking about the Love Boat.
They want to hear about these guest stars too.
Everything
I
else.
think because we could go right through the episode real fast. But I mean, isn't it more fun to talk about a little Al Molinaro and just like
Is that what you put on the shrimp, the Al marinara? Is that what you got going on there?
I have that.
Can you put a little Al
Can I have the
marinara on that?
I have the gnocchi Molinaro? It's delayed, but it was
Nothing's
still good.
better than the 5 second later bump.
That's makes me laugh even more.
I keep forgetting
We're on
have
to the
it.
next thing. Oh, bump.
But you have a new one, right? That has more, but it has. Does that give like feedback? Or
No,
something?
that one was crappy. I got to find one that's good.
I mean, I could.
Did you return it already?
I probably can't do
Yeah.
the Star Wars one that I was just messing around with. That'll probably get me.
The
in
one that was
trouble
just
with
whoa.
it. That made it fun because it was like we had like a background.
It sounded
sounds
like,
like
is that Star Warsy background music? Oh no, it's just feedback.
we got a hot mic.
Hot mic.
We're going into our next scene. We had Gopher and Julie, and they welcome.
Next scene. Are we on the first scene still?
That was the chef scene. We just finished
Chef.
up with the chef and the captain.
Al.
We got their fight going, and now we get
Got
George Gopher and Julie welcome Bobby Urich. He seems to know them because he kisses Julie on the cheek, and
He's some kind of like
putting a package together, a holiday package together for an
Vacation
airline.
critic or something
No,
like
he does.
that.
He puts packages together for airlines. So he's like, I guess like, oh, fly here for a 5-day stay. And
Yeah,
you stay at
Travel
this-
agent.
Yeah.
I think
Is that what he
you
was?
call
Okay.
him, yeah.
And
I was never quite sure what he did.
I like that he was
Except
smoking.
mope.
He was smoking a pipe. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm a big dummy. He was smoking a pipe, right? Yeah, that'll come up later. Because
Go for
listen,
her.
I missed the whole subplot going on here. I'll tell you, I missed it all. When it got unraveled at the end, I was like, wait, was that going on this whole time? I missed all of it.
Special delivery was very special for you.
I kept saying to myself, I was like, there are 4 stories in this? I swear to God. The whole
He
time.
just thought his story was like, is he going to get with Julie or not?
Say, all right, we got Leslie Nielsen and Zsa Zsa. We got
It's Ava.
okay, and we got Al, and I'm like, and we got Robert Urich, and we got the other girl. I'm like, that's 4 stories. I'm like,
You're like, I
that's
thought
a
I saw,
lot.
and he read the story. You saw what the stories were this time, so you knew.
listen,
But you knew it was
I am
3
not
stories.
trying to
though.
justify my stupidity in any way. I just was real when it got revealed at the end. I'm like,
Oh, that's special for
come
you.
on! How did I not see this coming?
The fact that I picked up instantly, I want to say on this. How about you, Brian?
I have to admit it. I was about 3/4 of the way into the episode.
Really? You guys really both missed
Listen,
this,
there
huh?
was a gigantic giveaway at one point where she says something, and I'm like,
Also, they give away. They focus on the name Smith a couple times.
oh, yeah. they
It wasn't
They
until
are
they
pushing
picked
it.
Jeff as the name. That's when I realized.
I did not get that. I
When
got
she walked away.
after the fact. I got that smells like Jeff's cigar or something like that. I'm like,
No, she smelled his
that
tobacco.
was
I was like,
yeah.
get the.
I'm like, that's a weird thing to say there.
Well, she sat in the exact chair that he was just in 2 seconds before that.
And then at the end, I'm like, oh, how did I miss this?
I know it's not the scene there, but how relaxed was he? And then all of a sudden he just gets up.
This is deep.
I'm sorry.
This is
I'm
deep.
sorry. We'll get there. I'm sorry. I shouldn't jump ahead there. Go for her.
We have spoiled this entire episode now. People are like, oh, thanks.
Well, they already watched the episode as well if they're listening, I would think, right?
My friend didn't.
I would really hope no one actually watched these episodes.
Has any of your, I think you said you let your daughter listen, right? Has she watched the episode first?
Yeah, but he doesn't let her watch the shows.
Only when I'm watching it for this show.
She'll watch with you, though.
Then
yeah.
to watch it, and then
I would hope no one actually watched these shows.
No, I want them to watch The
They're
Love
going-
Boat.
No,
I mean,
please.
I won't listen to a show that's talking about a show unless I watched it because that wouldn't make sense. I was like, if I didn't watch Game of Thrones, I'm not listening to a Game of Thrones podcast. Cersei did what? You know,
I
it's
listened
like-
to a podcast where they review Walking Dead, and I stopped years ago with watching Walking Dead.
You don't still listen to that podcast.
And so
do
did
you?
they.
Oh, they
and then all of a
stopped
sudden they started doing it again, and now I listen to the podcast.
But
I
you
don't watch
the
the show. And they start talking about people. I'm like, I guess I remember that first.
How
one.
long
Like,
is that podcast that you're wasting that time on?
It's
that?
like an hour, but I'm at work and it's in the background. But they start talking about people. I'm like, do I know who they're even talking about?
Is there anybody really left from? I think I left.
Carolyn and
What season is this?
the hillbilly guy.
What number
Merle?
season is this?
Oh, who the fuck?
Yeah, I know it's the
even
last
knows?
season. I heard that it's the last season.
Carol and Daryl,
Are they still making the Rick movie?
dude, I don't even care. All I know
He
is
doesn't
in the
care, but he listens to that
background.
podcast.
I listen to it. I will not listen to the Rick movie podcast.
Would you watch the Rick movie if it
No,
came out?
good lord, no. Walking Dead's awful. It's awful.
How many seasons would you say you watched? Do you remember?
Whenever Glenn and Aaron, not Aaron.
It was short.
Glenn and
Maggie?
No, the big ginger.
Oh, Abraham.
Abraham. When they got killed, that was the last episode I
That-
ever watched. And I read the comic
watched
beforehand.
shortly
I
after
knew
that.
Glenn was getting killed. I knew he was getting killed because I
Issue
read
100.
the comic. I knew he was getting killed.
Issue
but
100. I have
just
7
the
or 8.
way they handled that whole,
all different variants, but
just the way they handled the whole cliffhanger leading to the next episode. Oh, terrible! Hated it. Hated
I gotta
everything
say
about
the arc with the governor was some really great television. I thought.
Yeah, but that was season
2 and
3.
3, I think. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Those 2 seasons I thought were excellent, and it made you just want more.
Yep, but they went downhill quickly. And
Yeah, I want to say
do you think anybody from The Walking Dead's on the Love Boat?
could so you got to think of some of the older people. Herschel.
He's about it.
So that was Scott Wilson. I'll have to look that up. And no, who played Dale? Dale was an older guy too, right?
Right.
I don't know what kind of acting he did before or whatnot, but that would have to be.
I don't know.
What was
Do you
Walking
know?
Dead started? What 10 years ago? What'd you say?
Oh,
I think this
I would
is
say
season
like
10.
12.
So let's say 12 years ago. That puts it at what 2009ish. So that's
So was
when
that-
Dale was on there. So that and the Love Boat ended in '87. So he had to have a 22-year acting career going.
What's that got to do with this episode?
Nothing.
How are we here?
I don't know how we got into this.
What the hell happened here?
Do you want me to cut this in post?
No, Brian.
hell
But Brian, reel us in. Seriously, what are you doing?
Dear. How did we get on this?
I don't know, but how is he
I
not
feel
reeling us
I
in?
feel I brought us to this Walking Dead.
I think he brought us there too somehow. He's good at that.
It was definitely you.
What?
It was somehow. We'll play it. We'll listen.
All right,
back.
fine. I'm done. I'm done getting us off the beaten path. Let's talk about the Love Boat. Let's talk about this excellent episode of the Love Boat.
Now, let's not get mad at the Love Boat. The Love Boat didn't pick
Don't
on
take
you.
this out of the Love Boat.
I think I didn't mention. I don't think I mentioned this. I did mention the pipe, but Gopher.
Hitting the glass pipe. What are we doing?
Gopher heard that Robert Urich's character broke up with his wife,
Yes.
and Julie goes,
Oh, she goes. "Grrr, let me get on that.
There's the Eartha
And
Kitt.
Bobby Urich at that time is Urich.
I say Urich, right?
Urich, right?
Uric, yeah.
Urich.
You're Rick.
Urich.
Don't you dare call me Rick.
Rick from Walking Dead. We back on that.
Rick from Pawn Stars.
Bob. Oh.
I can get Andy to go off on a tangent there. Look at that. Do it.
So
do it.
Julie's into his character, whatever the fuck his
Rick
name
from
is.
Pawn Stars. Now I'm just egging him on. I'll stop.
Obviously, the correct combination of martini, whiskey, and edibles is not a good thing. Don't make that mistake in the future.
No, I mean, I think this is going well. How long? How far are we?
Do you now?
45 minutes.
How far are we?
3 minutes?
I told you this is what happens when we don't record, and we skip a week or something like that. We have a lot to say. It feels like,
Oh, yeah, we have a lot of great insight here.
but not about this episode.
Yeah, about The Walking Dead.
We're getting sued by AMC now.
Fuck AMC. I hope Walking Dead sues me. That
Although
piece of shit show.
AMC does put out Better Call Saul, which I'm looking forward to that final season.
I don't want to talk about Better
Brian,
Call Saul.
do you watch?
No, I haven't seen that yet.
But you did better. Or
Breaking
you did
Bad.
I watched
Bad.
all of Breaking Bad.
I don't
gotta
want
get on
to.
it.
I don't want to sully Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul with this podcast.
I'm-
I just don't want to talk about
I'm really
it.
excited because my cousin Sal is watching Better Call Saul for the first time, so he's been talking to me about it, and I was like, he's only like 5 or 6 episodes in, and I was like, you got so much coming.
Does he want to do a podcast about Better Call Saul?
Are you interested in that?
I would. I love Better Call Saul, and I obviously love Breaking Bad. Did he
I
watch
mean,
Breaking Bad?
He watched Breaking Bad, yeah. So I mean, this is a new network. I don't see a problem with starting other podcasts. I might start Chips podcast.
Well,
So
I like the idea of that.
Chips.
you never watched Chips, right?
Yeah, I'm not going to start now.
Oh my god!
Oh, come on.
I just watched Wet Hot American Summer, the first series that they did on Netflix. I forget what that one's called, The First Day of Camp or whatever. I think it's the First Day of Camp. And the one girl's talking about like a guy that she likes, and she's like, "Yeah, he looks like a young Larry Wilcox." And just like not a lot of people are going to catch that reference. You know what I mean?
I only get it on context. She didn't say Eric Estrada, so I'm going to assume that's the other guy.
It's the other guy, yeah. But I thought that was I just
How
thought
did-
it was hilarious.
How did you not watch Chips?
Because I hate cop shows. I hate all of them. I never watched
My
one.
God.
Actually, Andy, can you re-say that? You said an extra word. I believe it's you just hate cops. Usually, isn't it?
Well, I also hate cops, but I hate cop shows too. I've never
Tune
watched
into
one.
the podcast that cannot be named for some cop stories from Andy because we do have one on there.
I probably already told
There
all of them.
Where are we at here?
I think we're
oh,
still
yeah,
doing
Julie
the
said
introduction of these
No, no.
characters.
No,
I
it
don't
was-
even think Leslie Nielsen's into the fucking boat
Leslie's
yet.
not there, but we did get Julie going. Hmm.
All right, that's it. I'm buckling down, and we're paying attention to this show, and that's it. I'm just going to watch the show.
Next up, we have Ava Gabor. Basically, she's talking to a few ladies. They didn't want to miss her column, and this is where I have to talk about a special.
She's like,
I'm going to talk about a special lady is in this episode that was not talked about earlier. I told you there was a star
Yeah.
from a TV
Zsa
show.
Zsa's like a Dear Abby kind of person, which I
Yes.
think they actually reference later. And
They
say
do
she's
actually
like,
reference Dear Abby
but
later.
she's like a Dear Abby.
Dear Beverly. She has a column and a TV show. She also made me think of like Dr. Ruth for some reason.
All right, stop on these
Right
two
there.
here. The
That's-
sisters.
oh,
The sisters.
I'm sorry, I got to go back because that's who the two. One of those sisters.
I want you. Okay,
One of those sisters is who I'm going to talk about. You want to guess which one it's going to be?
I want you to give me a hint. I want to guess.
I'll give you a guess, but can you? I'll tell you which lady first. Which lady do you think it is?
Taller one.
It is her. Yes.
Okay.
She's on a TV show. It aired from 69 to 74. One episode.
Oh wait, what?
She's in one episode of this show, but it's very memorable.
Then I'm not going to guess. I'm based on one episode.
The 69 to 74. Think about that error. Think
Is that
about
like Brady Bunch?
Brady Bunch is correct.
Is the correct episode?
That's the TV show, The Brady Bunch.
Is she like Alice's sister or something like that?
She is who takes over for Alice when Alice leaves because all the kids think that Alice is telling on them, so they can't confide in Alice anymore.
Okay.
So her name was Kay. She was
Kay, yes, I remember Kay. Okay, I do.
I was
remember that.
so excited when I saw this lady because in the opening credits it just stopped after Robert Urich and we didn't see her. Her real name is Mary Treen. She has over 200 credits on IMDb.
Are they all as Ann B. Davis's stunt double?
No,
Second?
she was only in the one episode of Brady Bunch.
God
yeah.
damn, she's Kay. I remember Kay.
Yes,
I do remember her.
I'm glad you remembered that. I knew you were
For
like,
sure.
I know it was one episode, so it was kind of tough, but like that was a memorable episode. Brian, I don't know if you're a Brady Bunch guy or
I thought I watched all the Brady Bunches, but I don't remember that one.
they are on Sundays, MeTV, 12 to 2. It's not. I'm not trying.
I don't get
I would
MeTV.
do a Brady Bunch podcast if anybody was
Keep
interested
going.
in it.
Keep
No,
going.
Just
Keep
answer
going.
that. Would you
Keep
do it?
going. No,
Answer
I'm not doing a
Brian.
Brady Bunch.
I like the Brady Bunch.
Thank you.
This is enough.
That's
I got
Chip.
enough
So
going
I
on
got
in my life with Love Boat, all right?
Didn't he earlier in the week say he would love to just podcast every day?
Yeah, you
We're
did.
trying
Oh,
to
yeah.
get to
Someone
that.
going to pay me to do this shit?
That's what we're trying to. We're trying to get the network. We got what 7 other podcasts that your son did this week, right?
Yeah, if anybody wants to listen to a bunch of 17-year-olds be stupid, that's great.
Did he do a football? We'll talk about that
He
later.
did
I'm
his
sorry.
NFL draft or something like that.
I guess
Yeah,
we'll talk
fantasy
about that
draft.
after. I apologize, but again, here she is, Mary
Oh,
Treen on the right, from the Brady Bunch. It made me really happy. And Brian, are you leaving? Is everything?
I'm going to get
okay?
a beer.
Oh well,
Nice.
you could have
Go
told us
Brian.
first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We'll roll on here.
Because we're still doing the introduction, right?
No, we're not. We're in the. They're boarding. We get Leslie Nielsen here as well.
Oh, we're still doing the introduction. We haven't even seen
The
Leslie
ladies
Nielsen
talk
yet.
about how they read Dear Beverly before
Yeah.
the obituaries, which I thought was funny. That made me laugh. They love her afternoon TV show, and we see Leslie in the background,
Looking around like,
kind of like,
what am I doing here?
Like, hello, remember me, kind of thing. Like, hey, hello, I'm here. She talks about she's going to be doing a lecture on Sunday. Leslie comes up to Gopher, and he's like, "Who's this?" He's like, "I'm Mr. Blanchard." Beverly's husband. Gopher was like, "I didn't know there was a Mr. Blanchard," so kind of like throwing digs at him. They're staying in cabin 342 that's on the promenade deck. That's one thing I do like to mention, the
did.
cabins when they
I
tell
have
us that.
actually on this PC, I have a deck plan for the Pacific Princess.
Please tell me that we're going to put that on our website.
Oh, yeah.
And we can
definitely
put
it
in
on.
each cabin where the 324, whatever the
We
fuck
could
this one was,
we could put like
promenade deck.
episode 10, Beverly and Leslie
wanna
Nielsen
know-
and Ava Gabor were in this cabin.
I want to know if
How close cabins
Henry
were to each
Winkler
other.
and Leslie Nielsen were. Maybe they were in the same cabin on the promenade
Henry
deck. How
Winkler
cool-
and Leslie, you think so?
Oh my god! Still my beating heart. I hope so.
Why do you say Henry Winkler though? I'm confused.
Because I'm just throwing a name.
Oh,
out there.
okay. I was like, I thought
I'm
that I missed something.
assuming Henry Winkler will one day be on the Love Boat.
I don't know if he does a Love Boat episode. That's a
See,
good
I would have
question.
thought you would have known that.
I don't know everybody that's done it.
I know you don't know everybody that's done it, but I was assuming you would have known if Henry Winkler had done it.
I can tell you this right now off the top of my head. I don't recall
I think
ever
you,
seeing an episode with Henry Winkler in it. Now I can't say
I
I've
feel
seen
that
every
you are
episode.
a
I've seen
member of
lot.
the Church of Fonz, and that you would have known everything
No.
that you're.
I don't
Jesus
celebrate it.
would
I don't.
have done.
I can't say I celebrate his entire catalog. I like a lot of stuff that he's done. Barry, I think
Oh,
he's
Barry's
great.
awesome.
Arrested Development, I think he's great in.
In every
Um,
Sandler movie he's in, he's great.
I think he's been great.
The Sandler
some of
movies
the,
might-
the
Sandler
Sandler
movies
movie
might
might
not
suck,
be
but
great,
he's
but
a
he's
good
good.
character. Yeah. But yeah, I think Yeah, I like Henry Winkler. He was I think I've said this before. He was my favorite celebrity autograph that I got to meet. He hugged me. He hugged my cousin Christina. Shout out Christina. I forget what her Twitter is, but she's pretty cool. But no,
Hashtag Christina.
Henry Winkler. We were the first two in line because like we had walked around. We got I forget. I think I met Michael Rooker that day, and we were in line
From Walking Dead.
From Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh,
Yeah. Or actually from Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer.
And Mallrats.
Yes, that's right.
He was in Mallrats.
Let's do a Mallrats podcast. That'll be fun. Here we get a pregnant lady walking on, and this is played by Pamela Franklin. She's Gail Smith. She's staying in cabin P206. I guess the P might be promenade, right?
I'll take your word for it.
And then Doc says he's going to help her find her room.
Doc is all over her like as soon as
Instantly.
she walks on.
Even though she's pregnant. Maybe
She
a
is-
little fetish, pregnancy
listen,
fetish.
I'm not going to judge Doc based on the fact that she's pregnant because
She's not a bad-looking lady.
Pregnant chicks, pregnant women should be getting it too, but she is 9 months pregnant, as we will find out later.
Well, I have a problem with that. Should he be on a cruise this late into
No.
a pregnancy? Right? I didn't
know that she was pregnant till she was having the baby.
She makes it very obvious right
she
here.
points at it here.
I missed it. Every
We have discussions
single
about what they're
time.
going to name the kid. They have a long discussion about Harvey and.
There's all-
but I thought
Wait,
that this
don't
was-
don't spoil that because that's some Isaac's best work in this episode.
Oh, Harvey Wallbanger, right? Sorry.
I thought it was all hypothetical. She could have had a baby.
Doc, I want to have your baby. I want to know Jim and Jack and.
I was very distracted.
You have to admit though, Doc was in every scene with
her.
With her, yes. And,
yeah, this is one of those episodes where the crew wasn't very important, except when it was just the crew, and I mean with Al in the kitchen. But Doc was with her the whole time.
In my notes here, I have creepy Doc because again, the Doc was being creepy. And listen, I love Bernie Capel. I'd love to have him on the podcast, but you were a hound dog, dude.
Yeah,
Come on.
Listen, I'm not saying that a pregnant woman shouldn't be able to get some.
I know,
If
but
she wants some.
But he didn't have to be all over
But
instantly.
He even says at the end with the beautiful blonde walks out, why didn't I meet you at the beginning?
Oh, that was great.
Maybe
Because
you should not have cast your
but he
line
gets
at
hit.
the first piece of.
He gets set up by Kay because she hits him and calls him a sex fiend. And then the girl's like,
And he is.
I wish I met you sooner. I was like,
Yes, indeed.
damn. Spoiler. I'm sorry. That was a spoiler. Doc was creepy here.
No one will remember it 7 hours when we get to that.
Cabin P206. We find out there is no Mr. Smith at this time.
No Mr.
So
Smith.
we don't.
And listen, I bought into that. I had no idea what was going on. I didn't know there was a Mr. Smith.
Don't forget, I mentioned in the beginning, Robert Urich was playing Jeff Smith. Shortly after I mentioned Pamela Franklin was playing Gail Smith.
Now, wait.
all you guys got to do is look at the fucking IMDb.
I'm not
going
gonna.
to.
Well, I don't want to be spoiled before it happens. But like when he got on board, did he say Jeff Smith, or they said, "Hey Jeff"?
They were like, "Hey Jeff."
They didn't say, "Hey Jeff Smith."
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, like, I'm not gonna know just by that. Now
They might have said Jeff Smith in the because you know how to say the name sometimes in the
not on the credits. They'll say the
no, not in
regular
the
people.
credits. I'm talking about when the closed caption comes up. It'll say their name sometimes.
I think you're
Right.
grasping there.
Brian,
I watched it like this, so I didn't have any closed credits,
that's all you're getting from me.
closed captions.
I'm telling you.
No, that's not for you. That's for Brian.
The spoiler at this,
Watch it with the damn cat.
this episode when this episode revealed itself to what was going on, I was like,
I'm embarrassed for you
Oh.
guys. I really am.
listen, not that you shouldn't be. You should be embarrassed.
I'm embarrassed for myself too. I can't wait to see the pictures that Brian took earlier.
And I was just looking at your shirt, and the green outline looks like it might match the green screen. So
I might have that. Might
see through.
you might have a little
might
Gavin
be
the
looking like-
Cloud bleed through on.
I might be looking like Chip Chipperson. Nobody here
Chipperson.
gets that one. That's
I know
All right, you
that-
did get that one, all right? Yeah. Do you? Do you know Chip Chipperson?
No, who's Chip Chipperson?
That's a character that Jim Norton, comedian Jim Norton does.
I know Jim Norton.
Jim Norton does a whole podcast. Well, he calls it a podcast, Chip Chipperson podcast. Ooh, look at that. I like
Trying to do
that.
something different. I saw that clicker.
How about purple? Can we do purple?
right there?
I like that. So that'll screw up the picture, or will we be able to fix that? Or
No, I should be able to work around.
all right, I didn't even think of that. This is a good shirt.
That was my job to think of that.
What the hell are you
To
guys
tell
talking
you
about?
not to
We
wear
and
green.
the funny thing is, you mentioned the blue would be messed up, but now
Because I was thinking blue screen.
Yeah.
Because all I think is blue
And I was like,
screen.
yeah, and I
70
looked down at
years
my
after blue screen went to green screen.
was that like a secret? It was just like, hey, let's start calling it a green screen tomorrow. And
I remember when they were first doing the making of Star Wars. I guess it was Empire, and they were doing the Hoth stuff, and they were having so much trouble with the blue
the Hoth scene
screen,
is that
the
beginning.
blue screen, and doing Hoth because it was daytime, big blue backgrounds, and they were like,
I'll see you in hell.
"How about if we just change this to a different color?" And they changed it to green. They were like, "Oh yeah."
But then that was also when you started learning how they would like the stop motion is what they call it, where they had like those balls like on their head and face and their arm and body.
I was
and
also
stuff like that.
10, so who the fuck?
But when
knows
did
what I
they
knew?
when did they start? You know what I'm talking about? That was like for video games.
Yeah, that's
and-
like CGI. So
Yeah.
That's
that was a lot later.
That's what we're
going
going to be doing here. We're doing that next.
Are we doing
next
that
week.
now? We're going to be
Next
doing
week.
balls on the face and stuff
Next
like
week,
that?
I want to dip my balls in.
Brian said he wanted to have some balls on you. He's like saying to me before, he's like,
He said you should have balls
do I
on
gotta
that
pay
guy?
Jason to put balls on his face?
That was
Again,
incredible.
I thought Gail Smith was a pretty pregnant lady that Brian just thought was some random lady coming on.
Obviously
the chest,
pregnant.
Like that was even a maternity shirt. It wasn't even just like her stomach sticking out. It was a maternity shirt.
And I was watching it on a 70-inch television, and I didn't even.
I
was like
watched it on my
extra
little
size.
I watched it on my little tiny 35-inch.
I watched it on my 55-inch.
I didn't come down to my 110-inch screen here.
Coming up next, you know what it is, right? One of my favorite scenes,
Are we only at the
Bon Voyage scene. We got to look at
I have
Kay.
to pee. What-
Kay, her
what the
sister,
hell
and
are we being
Gail.
down here?
Kay and her sister Gail were throwing streamers. We got to see Bobby Urich, and we saw Leslie and Ava
And it's
also
so,
throwing
it's so
streamers.
funny that they focus on those two sisters because
Bob was
they're
the
not
only one who
really-
didn't throw streamers. He just stared.
Well, he is a
but we saw a happy Leslie Nielsen here as well. This was
but Bob Urich is a not disgruntled, but a kind of jaded travel agent kind of guy.
And he's
So-
kind of down now too because he knows he made the mistake of leaving his wife. And
well, we don't know that now. We just think that he's.
oh, that's right. I forgot we didn't.
He
get
kept
that
saying,
far. I almost
he
said
kept
something else
saying
too.
that he kept being down on the travel industry or something like that early on when he was talking to Julie.
Yeah,
like, I
because
got to do this again.
Julie
Yeah.
said something too. She was like, "Wow, he doesn't seem like his normal upbeat self," and he was
She was
definitely
like, Jeff
down.
never has a second cup of coffee at home. I might be messing
Spoiler
it up
alert.
with something else with Leslie Nielsen.
Okay, so after our Bon Voyage
But
scene,
what's funny, they showed the sisters. You can keep
no,
going.
it's okay. I don't want to get too far ahead here.
Believe me, this is not that
No,
deep.
the sisters again.
That they're showing
I
them
always
doing
loved
the
it.
confetti because they're nobodies except for purse waving old
They're
ladies.
nobodies, but they have both of them have over 200 credits, which I thought was amazing. I didn't look through all their credits. I should have, but
Well, you only have so many hours for
it
200 credits.
It takes me longer than an hour to watch the Love Boat because I got 11 and a half pages of notes here to discuss. And
Which is funny
Which
because it
is
takes me less than 45 minutes to watch.
what's embarrassing is I have 11 and a half pages of notes here, but like, what am I talking about for 11 and a half pages? It's like, what is it?
Keep
I
going.
do
What
say
you got written down right there, top of the page. What's
top
there?
of the page. I have Bon Voyage scene. Kay and sister and Gail are throwing streamers. Robert Urich's not throwing streamers. Leslie and Ava are throwing streamers. I thought it was.
I
thought
like
it was
it.
nice that I picked up on that.
And we talked about all those things.
Yes.
So your notes are important.
Yeah.
Keep going.
I'm
You can-
saving the notebooks too, so one day maybe.
Yeah,
the-
raffle them off to a top fan.
in
Yeah.
the exciting and new podcast Hall of
or
Fame.
maybe a
you
top
like-
Patreon like.
Oh my God!
maybe our
I
top-
have Jason's notes. I'm going to
Listen,
sleep with them.
You see how much John Lennon, and I'm not comparing myself to John Lennon.
I kind of think you are.
Do you think I? All right, yeah, I think this podcast is bigger than the Beatles. There, I said.
Which in exo facto means you're bigger than Jesus, right? Because the Beatles are bigger than Jesus. We're bigger than the Beatles.
There it is, it's
so
official.
We're bigger than Jesus.
Brian, you agree?
I do believe.
He believes in miracles. Yeah. So that was that scene. We're gonna go right.
What was that scene? I'd like to go back to the.
That was a
I
bad
bigger than
segue.
Jesus.
That was bad segue. I wanted to say now we have Ava and Leslie, and I apologize by not calling her Dear Beverly and
Wow.
Ross. Do you want me to call him that? What do you want to call him?
I would.
You'd call him Drebin.
I was
probably,
going to say
right?
Drebin and I wish I
Doc.
knew.
You can call him Doc.
I wish I knew her.
I can't
her
tell you what her
Green
name was.
Acres
on Green
name.
Acres, yeah.
I think it was Ava Acres,
Ava
I
Acres?
don't know that.
I'm
It's
going
definitely
to
Frank
get that
Drebin.
real quick for us because that won't be hard to grab here.
On Airplane, he's like Dr. Remulac or something like that, but he's Frank Drebin. I'm good with Frank Drebin.
Yeah, I went and I don't think I saw. Like I said, I don't think I saw the Dracula one, but
No,
she was
Airplane on Dracula.
Lisa
he's
Douglas.
Lisa, I said
Wow.
Lisa.
You watched? I didn't think. I
I've
thought
not,
you said you didn't watch it.
in a million years. Maybe on a sick day in the 80s.
I would never have guessed that. I like I said, I'd never really watched. Is there a pig on that show?
Is
Arnold.
that Wilbur? Oh,
No, that's Mr. Ed.
Arnold the pig.
Hello, Wilbur.
Does he talk?
No, he does not talk.
It's just a pig.
The
just a
horse
pig.
talks. So, hello, Wilbur.
Who's the guy
No,
on
wait.
Green Acres? Who's the guy?
Is Wilbur the horse? No, Mr.
I think
Ed's
you're
the
doing Mr.
horse.
Ed.
So Wilbur was the guy because he would always say, "Hello, Wilbur." Right? I was like,
It might be. Wait, what?
What
What?
happened?
Which animal are we talking about? What's the guy's name on
Henry
Green Acres?
Winkler,
It's Eddie something.
Eddie Haskell. I think we talked about him.
Eddie
already.
Dingle.
All right, so
That's a Ween
we got
reference for my
Lisa
friends
and Frank here.
Who? Ava.
Lisa and Frank.
Ava's excited for the cruise. Leslie, not so much. He would have rather paid for it himself. He feels like he's freeloading on
He's
his wife's
very
name.
slighted
And she's like,
by her
She's like, no,
fame."
darling. No, darling. All I have to do is give this lecture, and then I get the free cruise. Which
really
I thought was
funny.
weird. He
Ava
really
Gabor-
wanted to pay.
Ava Gabor, like I don't know much about her. Like
He made a point to say he can afford it, too. I can afford it.
she is. I don't know how much different she is from Jaja. Like Jaja acted like this. I remember.
I think Jaja wasn't she over the top?
She was always on like the shows like Brady Bunch
great.
and Gilligan's Island, and she was always that over the top. But she seems to be acting just like her.
Yeah, it's weird, right?
I think it was about this point.
I was
where
not expecting a frisky Leslie Nielsen.
I think
here.
it was about this point where I was like, "Is this Jaja or Ava? I don't know which one this is." And then I said, "Oh, it's Eva." I'm sorry.
It's
I
funny
thought it
you
was
say that because
Ava.
I did think that too. I was like, I thought Jaja was
Yeah.
the one that acted.
That's
like
why I
this.
thought this was Jaja. Up until this point, I was like, I'm confused here.
What do you think about the frisky Leslie Nielsen here saying he wanted to make mad
Mad
love,
Mad in capital letters on
Yes.
the subtitles. Mad.
which Brian wouldn't know about because he doesn't watch it with subtitles.
See, Leslie Nielsen
Doesn't
and I
have
have
subtitles.
a Leslie Nielsen and I have an interesting.
You want my
relationship.
Paramount Plus login? I thought I gave it to you.
No, I have Paramount Plus. I just watch it on this thing.
By the way, the State's on Paramount Plus. I'm watching that on there too. Okay, so Leslie said he can afford it. After he wanted to make Mad Love, Ava gets up and says, I can't make love to you because I'm going to be typing. And she wants to type her column, so he's going to go for a walk up on deck.
Yeah, I don't know if we've discussed already that Ava Gabor's character is like a Dear Abby kind of advice columnist person.
Yeah,
So she's on this cruise to give a seminar
about and then
Dear
I think
Abby,
basically
Dear
what the
Betty.
seminar is supposed to be is like the crowd's supposed to ask her questions, like
Betty,
would be for
Betsy, Betty?
Beverly.
Beverly. So she's Dear Beverly, but she's Dear Abby. And at some point during this show, they'll actually say
They
Dear
mentioned
Abby.
Dear Abby.
They will say
and,
Dear
yeah,
Abby,
something.
but
So Leslie's pissed. He goes. He has to go walk on deck with blue balls. He said he was either going to take a shower or a walk, so he went with the walk up
Yep.
on deck. And then one of her
if he
columns.
took a
one of her
shower, what's that mean?
I guess because he just wanted to take
he
a
gonna
cold
jerk
shower.
it?
That's possible too. I would say yes.
I don't jerk in the shower.
Nor
Well,
do I.
not-
But
we didn't ask if you did. Did you think Leslie Nielsen shower
Well, no,
was going to be a masturbation scene?
No,
if you
I think it would have
chose
been
that?
cold shower.
but
I've
the
taken
cold shower thing is
Just to
a
cool down.
masturbation kind of thing. But let me tell you something. I would never take a cold shower. I
Cold
like a
shower
warm
isn't
shower.
Masturbation. Cold shower is to not do anything. I thought just like get that
Yeah, to get you cooled down.
because he was all heated up.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay.
But one of her columns was
Learn something new every day here.
she mentions one of her columns here, and it was
So jump in a cold shower is what you're saying.
Do you never not masturbate when you take a shower?
wait double. That's
shower-
a double negative. Hold on, never not.
Never not. So always, do you always masturbate in the shower? I don't. I think my wife would be pissed off if the drain was all clogged up.
Back to the show. That was our sponsor.
I feel this
Blue Chew.
this episode, which I feel I know the most about all these characters, has the least to do with the show.
Yeah, and it's what's making it good.
Oh,
This
yeah.
right here, Dear Beverly mentions one of her columns, which was She writes that her son is a 250-pound fullback, and he keeps wearing her dresses. What should she do? And she said, lose weight, go on a diet.
Yeah.
Which I thought was hysterical because she's saying the 250-pound mother is fat. Right here, we talked earlier. You said you wanted to talk about some of the different characters.
Are we on the first night out? God damn.
We're talking about one of the first characters that we is part of the crew, but not the main crew.
Okay.
We got
I'm very
first one.
excited about that.
We got our first one here. He's a Lance.
Lance.
And he brings
I remember Lance.
he brings the dinner to Captain Stubing.
Never do we actually name any of the non-Doc, Isaac, Gopher
Actually,
crew
we
members.
did have one other time.
And we did when he fell down
Yeah.
the steps.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this guy is Lance, and he brings over
Yeah.
the food.
He
to
brings
Captain
over the
Stubing.
food, and guess what Stubing requests?
Ketchup. Because he wants to cover up
That's correct.
Al's shitty food.
And Al overhears it, because he basically was like putting the finishing touches on it right before Lance brought it over to Captain Stubing, and Al's pissed.
Yeah,
He has
I
a
don't
right
know.
to be pissed here.
Yeah, but I don't think you do. If you're a chef, however anybody wants to eat
He has the right to be pissed because
food-
there's a little thing going back and forth with Captain. If this was
Yes,
new the first
definitely
time,
they have a history. Obviously, at some point in the past, these guys have crossed paths, and Captain Stubing has used ketchup on his bolognese. But
Bouillabaisse.
Bouillabaisse.
bouillabaisse? What's bolognese?
Bolognese.
Bolognese
meat
is a sauce, yeah.
That's different. That's bolognese with a G. This is bouillabaisse, like the Beastie Boys song "B Boy Bouillabaisse" on Paul's Boutique. Great album, by the way.
I think they're the same thing.
And I'd have to say that I was angry when the captain put ketchup on a rack of lamb.
Oh, I wouldn't eat lamb. Who eats
But
lamb?
wait, I
You
thought it
eat
was
lamb?
fish sauce or
I love
something. You were
lamb.
saying fish thing. Something.
No, that's
something.
bouillabaisse.
Yeah,
Isn't that what the fuck we're talking about?
No.
He's mad at him. In the past, he put ketchup on his bouillabaisse. That's why he's originally mad at him.
Wow.
So now
Now
just
Captain's asking for
to
ketchup
piss
on
him off,
everything.
he's
Yeah.
going to put ketchup on his rack of lamb.
God, you guys really watch the show, don't you? Man.
I didn't though.
I am not-
I didn't know the lady was pregnant.
I am not picking up on these subtleties at all.
But you did pick up on something. You pick up on something, so it's like you're watching. Maybe are you on your you're on your phone?
Apparently I
Are you on
don't.
your phone when you watch? Or
Well, of course. I'm not going to fucking sit and stare at the
see,
TV.
that's the problem. I focus on this show.
And that's why this is your show. I'm just here for
What's your
whatever.
show? When are you starting your show?
Well, I'm not.
You picked the show. You said the show earlier, didn't you?
Did I? Was it Houston, Matt Houston?
What was it, Dukes of Hazzard?
I'm not doing it.
No, did you say that? Or who said?
I
that
did
was
not.
that was somebody else.
I did not. I'll do a Ted Lasso podcast.
Never,
Ted Lasso made me cry this week.
never heard of it.
Ted
I'm
Lasso
just
made me
kidding. You
cry.
tell me to watch it every day.
All right, so wait, the bolognese and the bolognese are two different things?
Bolognese is not in this episode. Bouillabaisse was in the early scene.
I'm
that we
hearing the
watched.
same fucking word, man. I don't know what's going on here. I'm not Italian. Speak American to me, man. I can't
Fish-
fucking pick
I
up
think
these words.
bouillabaisse
stew.
is French.
Fish stew versus meat sauce. I don't know what you want here.
But it's a rack of lamb.
Yeah,
So I don't even understand what's happening here.
you thought that he was putting ketchup on the bouillabaisse here, but he's not. He's talking about the ketchup being put on the lamb here.
Yeah.
That's the scene. He's pissed.
You've had
Brian's
lamb
pissed
before.
at the lamb being
I don't
covered
eat
in
lamb.
catsup.
Oh no, am I the only one?
I
Who
wouldn't
loves
eat lamb.
Do you call it ketchup or catsup?
Ketchup. I wouldn't eat lamb. I wouldn't eat veal.
That's baby.
Listen, I love
that's a
meat, but
baby.
I'm not going to eat little things.
You eat this. No, I'm sorry.
I know you like little things to eat, but I'm not going to do that.
I did the joke too. I said eat this. Stop us.
I do love lamb and veal.
Listen, I might not know the difference between bolognese and bolognese or whatever the fuck, but I don't.
This is
like
this is
little-
great because remember
little
he didn't know
things.
eavesdrop either. It was just,
Come
this
on,
just
man.
adds-
These
this
aren't
is
even
just
American words we're using here. What the fuck's going on? It's not fair. You guys are bringing all sorts of foreign words at me.
That was fun though when you learned that one. It's like because you were serious too, and I
And
love
I'm serious now too.
that's what makes this podcast work. The people
We should
out there
rename
love
it to Andy Learns.
I don't learn anything.
Okay,
I
we're
still
gonna
don't know what we're talking about.
we're gonna see Leslie and Ava coming in for dinner. Leslie's really excited because it's going to be just a dinner for two. But they bump into a couple here. I didn't get their names, but this couple talks about, oh, we're trying to meet other couples, and I thought
They wanted
you
a
think
table
to
for
swap-
four. They wanted.
You think they wanted the wife swap kind of thing?
No, they said they
what
were
I-
at a table for two,
I-
and then they said they wanted
they
a
wanted to
bigger
meet a
table
couple
for
though.
other people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they wanted the wife swap. That's what I thought.
Now
You?
listen, Leslie Nielsen Eva
would believe
Gabor.
that.
I'm not swapping with them. I love Leslie Nielsen.
I don't know. She might.
He's an old man.
Yeah, but you're not. She's not that great that she would sleep. She'd sleep with Leslie Nielsen.
I'm not saying I wouldn't sleep with him, but I'm saying I'm not swapping here. I'm not taking this swap.
I know you're not, but they're trying to get a swap. Is what I'm saying. Not saying that they would definitely get it. But then, dear Beverly has to feel like she has to be with people and talking to people, and she invites herself to sit with them. And Leslie's pissed again. Blue balls. It's going to be a second cold shower. I'm sick of it. I'm Team Leslie here.
He's a horn dog. He needs to be getting laid every night, apparently. If he's not getting laid, he's on the prowl. We found that out.
Oh, we will find out. And the girl she was nice.
I thought it was Heather Locklear.
She was gorgeous.
I thought it was Heather Locklear.
I didn't look
I was
up
looking
who
at
it
the credits.
was,
I'm like,
but
who
I
is she? I know who she is, but she's not Heather Locklear.
I should have dug her up.
No, she's somebody, but she's nobody. I mean, I saw her name, and I'm like,
no offense. I mean, she's probably still out there. If she wants to come on the podcast, she's more than welcome.
she's still alive, but
And
it
Andy, eat your Blue Chew before you masturbate in the shower.
Hey, what?
I was doing an ad, Blue Chew ad, masturbate in the shower, which we just talked about.
I've heard these podcast ads. That is not long enough. They go on forever.
Don't you love the fast forward 30 seconds thing? Boom, boom, boom.
You know, we're gonna have to figure out how to do all that monetization stuff, how to work it into the podcast.
People are just going to throw money at us because this is such awesome content. They could be like, "Oh
We
my
have
god!"
to force them to listen
I would
to
pay.
ads.
I would pay $1,000 to listen to you guys talk about this shitty show.
You never know. We could pick up a small company ad or something like that.
Celebrity cruises, maybe we can get, or Pacific or whatever.
Yeah, we're doing
Princess.
We're doing a
Princess
great
cruises.
job for the cruise industry.
I don't think we could get Carnival, but we might get one of the
Oh,
smaller
Carnival,
ones.
maybe
you know?
Carnival. Yeah,
Disney cruise.
oh,
Disney would probably be tough, especially with your language.
Oh, my language.
We've all said words on here
I know I've
that
been raw
Disney would
tonight,
like, but Disney has the R-rated side too, right? I mean,
that's Hulu or Touchstone.
but it's still under Disney's umbrella, right?
I think they try to
Disney
hide
might have a problem with your characterization of Connie.
Connie, she was special, special in her own way. I'm not even saying it. He's trying to get me to say it again.
I liked when you said it.
I don't remember what episode that was, but it was Connie was trying to steal Julie's job. I might have called her a "see you next."
Everybody
Tuesday.
that made it this far knows what you called her.
Yeah, I know, but that's why I don't.
Because
need to
all
say it
6 of
again.
them are like, "Oh my god, that's right. That was the time that Jason
So
said
it's
that
probably
word."
Dana and Tara. Shout out! We'd love to have you guys on the podcast. Both of them at the same time, I think would be fun.
Tara wouldn't be fun. Dana would be fun.
Tara would probably be like, "I'm not."
She doesn't
talking.
talk.
Yeah, but Dana, I haven't seen Dana in a while.
Dana
so
talks a
we should
lot.
invite Dana over one Saturday night for to join us.
I could do that.
Yeah,
I'll work on that. Dana will talk.
And
Tara will be the Brian.
and we also,
She is the Brian. She is for sure.
We also have
you
to
talk
get,
more than her.
We also have to get Dan over. I know it's tough. He's 70 and he just had a baby. So
He lives all the way over in Pennsylvania. That's like 30 minutes from
he's
here.
71, right? And the baby's 6.
Let's see. I'm 51, so he's older than me. So he is 72 now. And the kid's 4.
Yeah, when the kid graduates, I think he's going to be 107. When the kid
I met his daughter at my. Well, I didn't meet his daughter, but she was at my son's graduation party, and that was 3 years ago, and she was 2. So that would make her 3 now. I don't even know where I'm going with this.
2 plus 3.
Oh yeah, 6.
But we also have Mike Chamberlain said he would do the podcast. So we
Oh
could have
my
him
god, that would
over.
be awesome.
Yeah. So
We could have the boys watch an episode, and give their feedback of 17-year-old.
What, our stupid boys?
Yeah, our stupid
I thought he
boys.
meant the boys TV show. I was like, wow,
Oh,
you got
that'd
you
be
got
awesome.
them.
Let's get them. We can't even get through this stupid fucking episode right here.
We really haven't even talked much about Al Molinaro, right? At this point, you still don't even know what the strike is.
Now you're gonna tell me al marinara is not a sauce that you mix the red sauce with the? That's not a sauce.
But
I put
again,
some al marinara sauce on that.
Marinara.
Brian doesn't know.
Oh.
Brian doesn't know about the pregnancy. You don't. You don't.
At this point, when Julie's talking to Bobby Urich,
Bobby Urich again.
Spencer for
How
hire.
handsome is Bobby Urich?
He's a very good-looking guy. He died at 55.
I can't believe that.
Which I mean, if I was
And-
Brian
right
Alpin,
here
I'd be
we
nervous,
get,
man.
right here we
That's
get
only like 3.5 years away.
we get the sisters. They overhear Bobby and Julie talking here, and
So is he making reference to his wife that he left
He's
behind?
talking about his wife and everything here, and Kay overhears it and smacks him with her purse.
Kay is from Brady Bunch. Yeah,
Yeah.
she smacks him.
And
That's all these women
sister
are
looks at
doing,
it.
smacking with purses.
And then they talk a little. They talk a little more here, and
but Julie wants to get in his pants, and he's like, "Yeah, it's not happening."
Julie is all over him, very Doc style.
For sure.
Praying here.
Yep.
But Bobby goes in for the kiss, and it looks like it was going to be something special.
And then they were almost like it didn't feel right, almost like Back to the Future or kissing your
it
sister.
just
kind of
wasn't fresh. You know what I mean? She just didn't work. That's a reference nobody will get. I'm not even going to go into it because it's just
I don't get it.
Jim Norton and Sam Roberts. They were on.
I get it.
They were on the bar rescue, and they had to test. They had the food, and Jim Norton was like, "It just wasn't fresh. It was cheesy."
All right, so Julie kissed him, and they're both not into it.
And then they look at each other and they kind of giggle about it. Andy's grabbing his scissors, making a lot of background noise. So that should be picked up on the podcast, right, Brian?
Yeah, where did those scissors come from?
I have no idea. Who did the last podcast? Your son. So something happened down here.
They're
Like,
trying
cut
to
the wire. Cut the red wire.
He's talking too much, Snip.
But yeah, they basically realize that it's not going to work, kind of thing. But Julie's very close to him, and she keeps talking to him about his wife, and he feels like it's not. He ruined it because he lived with another woman and he left her. He doesn't. Again, I'm a spoiled something that we have spoiled a lot here. You didn't know about who Gail's married to. Should I say,
did not.
Can I say it now for our audience? You think they know?
No. We'll spoil it when it gets there.
Okay.
Because why ruin it for everybody?
I'm sure our audience has picked up on it, unlike some people.
This woman, what's her name?
Gail.
But her real name?
Pamela Franklin.
I thought she looked very much like the woman from Alien. Is that Vanessa Redgrave or
was it? No, that's not Vanessa Redgrave, is
no?
it?
That's obviously not Sigourney Weaver.
Alien
the
or
other woman,
Alien?
Alien. Who's that?
That is.
Come on, Brian. You know.
Well, I was going to say, talking about spoiling, in the very beginning we talked about Gail Smith and Jeff Smith. So
Listen, Brian. We're playing the fucking game here, dude.
Uh,
no one gives a shit, man.
Veronica Cartwright.
I'm sorry.
Cartwright, Party of
Veronica
Four.
Cartwright.
Is that who
She
it
played
was?
Lambert.
Okay, that's probably who it was.
It wasn't Harry Dean Stanton.
It was not.
It wasn't Yaphet Kotto. Just died recently.
No, it wasn't
And
Tom
it wasn't
Skerritt.
the mother, Helen Horton, and it wasn't Sigourney Weaver. Who's top cast? Who's top billed cast in that?
In Alien?
Yeah,
Tom Skerritt.
very good.
Gotta be.
Very good. Yeah,
But I thought she looked like that woman from Alien, not Sigourney Weaver.
that's her there.
Okay.
But I mean,
That's not what she looked like in
Yeah.
Alien.
it was blonde in that picture. I don't know which that was from, but yeah, Tom Skerritt, good on that one.
I know things. Not like Brian says. Like I'm dumb.
No, I was never saying you were dumb, but
Brian says I am.
well, that's Brian, and he's got problems.
I never said you were dumb.
He thought it.
He's like, I can't believe I'm podcasting with this idiot over here.
I am surprised that you didn't know bouillabaisse versus bolognese.
I think you had to. I think you knew that you were joking, right? With the Molinaro.
Al Mariner.
That one he was joking about Al Molinaro.
The sauce?
Yeah, I think he really got the bolognese and bouillabaisse mixed up. That's yeah.
I guess that can happen.
So
Fish
here,
soup.
I'm not Italian. I don't know the difference between these things.
Your wife is.
we find
You think she talks Italian around me?
we find out here
She talks
that
Italian by my back.
Gail has the same last name as Burl or
Oh,
Gopher.
yeah, Smith. Right.
but
But they don't say Smith. They don't say Smith.
They say they had the same last name.
They don't
but
say
we know Burl Smith.
Jason. They don't say Smith. They just
I know
say
they don't.
Gail has the same last name, or she has the same name
as Burl,
as you.
but you know his name.
But I didn't put two and two together. I was like, okay, what's that mean that she's got the same name as him?
Andy.
Listen, Jason, I'm telling you.
I'm telling you, you should have picked up here at least.
I am not paying that much attention where they said this whole thing. I'm like, all right, she got the same name as him. I don't know what that means.
That's right. He thought there was 4 stories going on.
I really did.
I was still clueless at this
I
time.
really
so-
did.
He tells us in the beginning, I read the names of the 3 stories, but then he thinks it's 4 stories the whole way through.
Well, I'm not counting during the whole thing. I'm not saying, oh, this is the third, the fourth, the second, but I had no idea at this point. Still, at this point, even as she said that they were naming kids' names and they said Jeff.
That's also happening here, and we get Isaac and Gopher, or they're all talking about baby names, and she says she likes old-fashioned names like Johnny, and Isaac goes, as in Walker, and she goes, or Jack, and Isaac says, as in Daniels, and then or Jim, and then Isaac says, as in Beam. But he did like a beam, like a deep voice.
This was
there.
Isaac's biggest contribution to the episode right here.
And then Isaac says his name, Cleophas, which I
Cleophas.
thought was interesting. But
I'm not quite sure what
we
the
don't get any
reference
background
there
on
is.
it. And then Jeff, they come up with the name Jeff Smith. They
Would you
come
like
up
to
with
know-
the name Jeff Smith?
That's when I figured it out.
I didn't figure it out.
That's Paul's right there is what I...
You want to know a secret?
Yeah.
My freshman roommate was named Jeff Smith, and that's what I thought about when they said Jeff Smith. I'm like
So
my
your mind was
roommate, my
somewhere else,
freshman
yeah.
year in college. That's all I thought about.
So when they mentioned Gail Smith, or Jeff Smith Gail,
Did you really
excuses
figure it out at
herself.
that point?
I figured out that the two were connected at that point, and that she was probably, married.
He didn't
to
know if
him.
it was her brother
but
or not.
at this point, I didn't know she was pregnant at this.
Oh, you didn't know she was pregnant. I knew she was pregnant, but I didn't know who the husband was. You knew who the husband was.
Then we
Let
get
me tell you something. Take me to a movie where there's a plot twist. I will not figure it out until after the plot twist. I'm like, oh my God, they were dead the whole time. Really?
We do have
Oh my
have one more
God!
great line from Isaac here because after Gail leaves, somebody says, "Oh, what about Harvey?" And he goes, "As in Wallbanger."
Wallbanger.
And then Doc runs after Gail,
Well, of course he is.
and Doc's hugging Gail. She mentions here that Jeff is her husband's name, soon to be ex. She says it here.
I don't think I knew that Robert
she
Urich's
mentions-
name was Jeff.
She
I
mentions
really
she's
don't think
still
I
in
did.
love.
In my defense.
Her husband doesn't know about the baby, and that it's not going to work with her husband because he's living with someone else. This is all as she's crying into Doc's suit, and Doc's making jokes about.
And in my
how wet
defense,
his,
he wasn't living with somebody else. He was on the cruise ship.
And I didn't understand why she was talking about or Jeff doesn't know about the baby.
And why is she on a cruise
How did
ship
he
at
stood
9
up-
months
He
pregnant?
still didn't pick up on the pregnancy when she said Jeff has no idea about the baby.
Because I'm like, what baby?
At 9 months pregnant, what's she doing on a cruise ship?
I mentioned that
What is
earlier.
she doing?
I don't.
Did you?
I
I'm
d-
sorry
yeah,
if you said
no,
that.
I
But
did,
really,
but
what's she doing on
I
this
agree.
cruise
I don't
ship?
understand. Like,
They wouldn't let you fly.
I know you can't fly in the 3rd trimester.
So why is she on a
She
cruise
didn't,
ship?
and they didn't mention like she
And
didn't
why
have this
is
baby
Doc,
early.
Why is Doc macking on her so hard, man? I don't want to put anything against pregnant women at all, but like,
He can't knock her up.
oh, okay, maybe that's why. But really,
That was perfect.
are those
Was that
dogs
Chucky or
barking?
Jack?
It's probably Jack. My parents probably.
So
came
those
on,
are
but
good names that Gail would probably like as well.
Chuck and Jack.
Yeah,
Chucky and Jack.
They're old school names, right?
They were old school names. They were old dog names too. But really, I mean, Doc, I don't want to offend a pregnant woman, but Doc should be looking for something more fertile, maybe. She's already knocked up. He can't knock her up.
I mean, there's a lot of people on this cruise, obviously, but it seems like once Doc like zones in
Once
on
he hooks his
something, it's
claws
like,
into
yeah,
something, he's like,
he
I'm
can't look
banging
anywhere
this thing
else.
here.
It's like what's going? He's that's his focus. He just doesn't stop.
She seemed really vulnerable, so she was probably easy picking.
She was crying already. Yeah,
He even makes reference like this shoulder's dry. Cry over here because
Yeah, he was making the jokes about how wet his jacket was getting, and
that might be 10 minutes more into this episode or 5 minutes before. I can't remember at all where we are.
yeah,
in
because
this
when we
episode.
rewatch this, we don't have captions, so we don't know what's being like. That's where my notes come in, I guess, too. But I mean, watching it again, I watched it last night, so it's fresh. You guys,
for those
both
notes,
watched today.
the bid on Patreon is up to $500 now. If you want to bid on those
That
notes.
$500, you get my first notepad.
Jason's
I'll
first
sign it.
notepad,
We'll all
season
sign it.
1. I'm not signing it.
You have to sign it, Brian. Come on, right? Why are you being so difficult?
Yeah, you need to sign it.
For $500 more.
Get him a little more whiskey.
Oh, I finished my bottle.
I don't like that those scissors are still here.
Did you
I have them ready to go.
did you need to take a break to use the bathroom? I
Oh
know
my
you said you had to
God.
go to the bathroom.
Did I say that? Do you see it in my face?
No, you said it
We can do
earlier.
like a commercial break here.
You want to pause it right now?
Did I
This is
really
a good
say it
scene.
before? Because
You did, yeah.
I thought you just saw it in my eyes.
No, you mentioned it. I think this is a good time. Brian can get another beer. You can get some whiskey and
I
let
don't
some of
want
that
whiskey.
I can play some music out.
And this would be like a perfect time to insert a commercial.
There we go.
Are you listening to the exciting new podcast? Then try Blue Chew, because once you've watched Love Boat, you're going to want a hard on.
We know Leslie Nielsen was eating his Blue Chew.
My
before this
God.
episode.
Leslie Nielsen, man.
Okay,
your
so-
wife blew you off for one night and you're going to start banging
This'll
someone
be,
30 years younger than you?
I'll make-
Listen, I would do the same thing. Just no 30 years younger than me woman want anything
Let's
to do with me.
let's make a where we can cut, right?
Oh, yeah, well, I'll play the music.
The last
okay.
time I
I'm sorry.
screamed and yelled about circumcision, that did not get cut out of the podcast.
That I think that got us a few more listeners. I think.
Well, I still have editing to do on a bunch of these episodes.
Yeah, you do. Do your fucking job.
So, but Connie, that episode staying as
Oh, yeah,
the speakers.
The C word staying
That does
in.
not get cut out.
That's going to be going into promotional print here.
Will that be like the viral video that we send out? We'll put out we can put out little viral video clips of our faces, the picture that we the logo that we end up making, and then just like clips of the podcast. Like,
And then you also have to go to your sister saying that this is a T-shirt we want to make.
I would definitely, yeah. I think
Exciting
we can
and
make that.
new. Connie is boom.
Do I put that on the back or do I leave it on the front? Like,
Oh,
all
it
the
is a
front? Connie,
fronter.
is it dot dot dot?
That's a fronter. Oh,
goes
dot,
right
dot,
at
dot,
the
and then the back.
That is
I like
good.
that.
And the people walking behind me are like, "Damn, he just has that on his back!" Like,
So,
wow.
can I just get a time on how much left of this episode we have?
Guess.
40 minutes.
I'm gonna guess we got about 32 minutes.
I can't see the screen.
It's about where the we just had the scene with
You got to start it and stop it again. You got to get a pause and a stop.
right here is it was a scene ended and you're seeing like everybody laying out on the
Didn't do it,
deck.
though.
So we're only like 15 minutes in.
And how long are we into the podcast? Oh, there we go. That thing. That's what I meant.
17 minutes in, so there's 33 minutes left.
So we're an hour and a half into the podcast.
Hour and a half into an hour show that we're only 17 minutes into. Who is listening to this? What's wrong with you people?
Cut this out.
Well, here I'll play the music us out.
This is Jason and Andy. We're going to take a quick break.
Wrong.